candidates who are running. Shit! This, you just ruined this for me. I'm up on stage and and those who live near Chicago and those who have traveled from afar to come to Chicago, you have the distinction of being the largest supernatural convention in the history of supernatural. Back here next year to crash the place. Or we're going to answer questions in a civilized manner. So how's it going so far? Who's new? Who has never? Wow, a lot of you are new. That's actually tricky. Normally, we like to have a smaller number, the influx of newbies, the virgins at the convention. We like to have a smaller number so that those of us who have been here before, we can outnumber them and haze them properly. There may be too many of you for us to follow the normal routine of forcing you to do humiliating things in order to prove your mettle that you deserve to be here. Yesterday was the 24th anniversary of us starting at 8. Thank you very much. That's the kind of stat that you would expect to be getting from an elderly retirement community couple. You know, not somebody, well, maybe I'm more elderly than I thought. 16. Who in the audience is 16 years old? You are 16 years old. You could potentially be dating somebody that you will spend the next 24 years with right now. I was 16 when I started dating my wife. So just be careful. Be careful who you pick, because we stuck with them for a long time. Hello. How are you? You've been very patient. Thank you for being so patient. You don't get that disgusting microphone away from me. Is that what face you just did? Did somebody blow their nose on it before? What did Rich do to that microphone? Did I miss something?
Well, part of it is I am not comfortable.
Okay, I'll stay away. Put that disgusting microphone closer to your mouth, though. It works better. We are gonna get through this, even if it takes us all night.
No, what I was going to try and say is, I wasn't going to try and get you to get through a question without using any dull words like, but even I can't get through asking the question.
You're asking me to stop stalling, essentially, with meaningless vocalizations, like, right? I said a lot It's a sign. Actually, how I made that into like the article. Is it A an article?
Yeah.
I think that saying and are signs of diminished intelligence, and I do it a lot. There was once a filters were yellow. I wasn't using one of those annoying filters. This is tough. Okay, yes, I can do it. I'm going to speak in a very slow and measured manner. I seem to start every phrase with an I'm noticing the impulse to do that right now, but I'm not doing it. There was an online piece of software that was designed to redact all of the spoken words that a speaker speaks, leaving only the breaths and meaningless filler sounds left. And they compared all of the candidates for you win this round. I compared all the candidates who were running. The expletives that are the fillers now. Now I'm so self-conscious. You just ruined this for me. I'm going to be able to come up on stage and feel anything other than self-fluid. They had the software, and all the people who were running for governor of California, including Arnold Schwarzenegger and Ariana. Who is very, very brilliant. All you heard when they took out the words were just the breath coming in, and she was on it. She didn't have any fillers, hers, whatnot. Schwarzenegger was a train wreck of ums and as would yours truly be, run through this miserable filter. Anyway, return to your seat. As a young person, I have conscious memories of knowing that I should figure out what I want to do when I grow up, because people always ask you, I don't know, were you a kid? No, okay, I was, and I remember grown-ups asking me what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I had no idea. My brother, younger than I was, already knew that he wanted to be a train conductor. No, I can't. I've proven to an audience of 2,000 people that I can't already. Yes, so I wanted to be a writer fairly early on. I wanted to be a director. I liked movies. I used to walk around as a kid and I would see something like a loudspeaker at a fairgrounds saying something that didn't quite make sense. You know, it was kind of out of context. And I thought, someday I'm going to be a director and I'll put that in a movie. Which is not really terribly focused career planning, but I also wanted to be a politician. I say constantly. I'm gonna have to get like a speech therapist now. I'll probably know it's better because of this. real ego booster. It's a pleasure coming out here and talking to people. What were we talking about? Oh, what we want to be when we grow up. Seriously, how do you get it out? I know. I've got to get one of those shock collars. Every time I say, zap, little zap. Biofeedback? That can help? Maybe. You're not sure in my case. It might be too serious. That would work. Out of proportion ego I had as a child, I thought that this was a legitimate idea. Yeah, sure, go for it. Be president. And I thought that all the way up to college. I was still thinking, yeah, I think I'm going to try to be president when I grow up. Totally delusional. Thank you, Larry. Of a 16-year-old. So suck it. When you're, how old are you? 19? Yeah. Nice. Great. You don't even know what my platform is, you guys. Don't put your votes away yet. My platform, this is not the proper format for me to hash out my platform because I'm very rattled right now about my speech impediment. Really going off the rails. I'm going on tangents here, but I had a conversation, I believe yesterday, with my wife about we were going on a walk, and it was a long walk, and we needed something to talk about. So I said, "So what do you?" And she said, she filled in for me. Want to do with my life? And I said, "Sure, yeah. What do you want to do with your life?" And she said, "I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out." And it was kind of an interesting moment that we then broke down further and realized that we didn't really think about our lives that way anymore. We weren't really measuring ourselves. We're not thinking about measuring our lives according to what we're doing. We're hoping, ideally, just to have happy, good lives. And at your earliest convenience, consult a speech therapist. You could find yourself on stage in front of 2,000 people at some point and suddenly realize that you hadn't buttoned up that aspect of your performance. And it could really be scarring for you. So you don't want to find yourself in that situation. It's a catch-all. Be persistent and ambitious. Dream, I think if you really sort of set your sights on something big and kind of allow yourself to believe it can actually happen. But you have to be persistent, you have to stick it out, and you have to not give up. Even if, even if you have to forge on, even if you find that you're saying all the time. Plow through that, and not give up. This is a career that has been likened to drug dealing. In that it is, what's the guy that wrote Freakonomics? I can't remember his name. Yes, Stephen Levitt? Levitt. Stephen Levitt lumps acting and drug dealing into the same category of careers, just so you know. Because basically, both are, you have really terrible odds of actually making good money at it. There's very few drug dealers that rise to the top and end up getting an Escalade. Likewise, there are very few actors who can get an Escalade. And those odds are so terrible that you have to be a little bit crazy to go after it if you really want to make a career of it. But the thing that makes it work is being persistent. In my career, it took me a long time to really be making a good, decent living at acting, and I watched a lot of people fall by the wayside along the way. A lot of friends who I thought were going to be in for the long haul moved, out of Los Angeles, started teaching, started their careers, gave up. So you have to be the one that doesn't give up, the one that's so So crazy, don't give up. So be crazy, there's one. Jared Padalecki. And I look up to him because he's simply so tall. And no, that's a good question. There are people whose careers and work I really respect, and there are people who I respect for living, really righteous, spiritual lives. Gandhi is impressive. Martin Luther King was impressive. Sacha Baron Cohen is impressive. I love what that man did. I was just rewatching the Ali G show recently. If anyone has not seen the HBO Ali G series, treat yourself to watch it. It's amazing what he pulled off. He really, there it is again. Meet that shop club. They gave me a few things to work with. One of them was, I knew first of all that he was impervious to bullets and knives, and that he was very powerful, and he had not been around humans for thousands of years, so they were kind of like strange beings to him. He was curious about how they operated and didn't quite fit in, but he came out of the gate as a very sort of strong warrior who was somewhat menacing. And he was very tough. And you can see that in some of the first scenes he has with Lee, like, I'll kill you, But then over time, the character sort of evolved and became a little bit more socially awkward, a little kind of dorky, a little slouchy, more like misha. And I think that what happened was the writers were like, we can't put, unfortunately, because of casting problems, we can't continue to have this character be super tough, badass all the time. Because there's a very heavy undercurrent of dork that seems to be coming through on screen. So they started writing to accommodate that, and I think that's how the character kind of evolved. Yeah, I actually don't know that song. It could be like really an insult.
It is a beautiful song.
Okay.
I think it's just beautiful that you are yourself, you know these crazy things, you're not afraid to just say what you want, be who you are. So like, what advice would you give people to be creative and do crazy things and just be out there like you are and kind of come into yourself and be yourself?
I thank you for saying that. That's very nice. I do not feel like that's an accurate portrayal of me. I feel I'm hard on myself for not being more courageous about being great. I think that it's nice to break out of convention. Not this kind of convention. Leave. He said to break out. He left. He was so glad he did. He sang home so much. It was this is becoming increasingly difficult for me because there is a voice in my head that is now monitoring the frequency and volume of my ums. It's taking up quite a bit of my focus. I didn't know that about myself. About following all kinds of rules that are somewhat arbitrary. Like you probably always go into the women's bathroom, right? When did that rule get invented? Why do men and women go into different bathrooms? It's kind of weird, right? But we think that oh shit, here he comes. I I don't know, I think the best thing, I think that it's sort of everybody's job to monitor all of these normal rules that we're supposed to be following, and at least try to be aware that you're following a rule when you are, rather than walking on autopilot and assuming that what you're doing is normal and natural. There's that word again. I hate it. It is.
Hi. My question is, can you name the top 3 foods you think Cass misses the most since he became an angel again?
Probably nachos, Slurpees, and hot dogs. Because I think that was his entire culinary universe was in gas and zip. That's all we ever really had a chance to try. He probably got a pretty good employee discount. Yeah. My father, when I was, what? Peanut butter and chocolate shit. Yes. That's canon. I should have known that. My father worked at 7-Eleven briefly when I was probably 4, and I remember this was the late 70s. He was very much a hippie, very much a pot-smoking guitar player. He was having hippie in the 70s, working at 7-Eleven, and he was a crap employee. I was 4 years old, and I remember it clearly, and I was aware at the time that he was a crap employee, because he would bring his 2 children with him when he was on the shift, and we would just eat. That's where we ate. And it was great, because you just ate whatever. And you threw out the back, and you were done with it. That was the employee discount that he got. 100% discount. Yes?
Very briefly, I'd just like to know that saying those words in, well, not necessarily words, but in the beginning of your sentences is actually a sign of forethought and intelligence, so don't worry about
Is that really true?
Yes,
It does seem though like it's waiting for the thought to catch up with you. It's like it's giving a pause so that a thought can form. Which to me sounds like the thought is not forming terribly quickly. No?
No, if you can look it up. There are reports and studies done that does indicate that.
You do it too, huh? Obviously, reports and studies commissioned by people who have this power thing, right? They're paying the scientists off to corroborate their self-assessment as intelligent. But,
I would imagine so. Given the wealth of backstory inherent with the heaven and hell storyline to Supernatural, what would be your opinion of taking over the lead for a spin-off that centers around that? The hell aspect, the whole background to the apocalypse, what things were changed.
I think it would be great, because I would like to play Castiel until I die. I can see that happening. They have to do some sort of spin-off at some point, right? So, have to do that. Otherwise, I can just do community theater as Castiel. Which is another viable option. Yeah. I mean, they have Doctor Who, right? Doctor Who is a long-running series. Some people enjoy Doctor Who. We could have, Supernatural could be the Doctor Who of America, where it runs forever, but instead of replacing the cast just gets super old. Just an idea.
When I stood in line for an hour, it was totally fine when I said your name, and I burst into tears to the point that people were checking on me, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, why did I make you cry?
You're being fucking Polish!
Wait, why were you standing in line?
Waiting to ask you a question.
To ask this question?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Right, I was so limply answering. I didn't realize we waited so long. Now I feel bad. Okay, let's take it seriously.
I think that it's
So have you all been waiting for You've been waiting, you people have been waiting for an hour? You realize you're not going to get to answer your question, ask your questions, right? It's not a great investment of time if you're at the back of the line. You're not going to get to the front. Never happens. I'm too slow. If I took out all those ums, I could probably get through people, but I have too many films. Let's stop talking about it and get to this boardroom discussion. She's been waiting for over an hour.
I think that it's a surprise that Castiel and Charlie haven't met yet. What do you think a scene between them would be like?
It would be awesome. I love Felicia Day. She's fantastic. I would love to work with her on anything.
Felicia, I would love to work with you on anything. You're great. My mother monitors the internet. She's my NSA. And she sends me emails, things like that I should check out. You gotta check this out. You gotta pay attention. She tries to use subject headings that up the stakes to get me to read it. Like, this is key! You got to read this one! All caps, triple exclamation mark. Like, really tries to get through. Which of course, you know, all saying about Brian Wolf eventually. Not really sure that anything is key anymore. But she sent me something yesterday that Felicia Day wrote on Gamergate. Very well worded. I don't still know what Gamergate is, so
Misogynistic assholes.
misogynistic assholes. It's a little bit controversial, but I'm going to say I'm against that. That's all misogyny. I know some rebels from competitors here, but so she has written a book, Felicia Day, which notes. She's been working on it feverishly. It's going to be great. I assume, based on what I've read, that she has written my Tumblr. I guess that means my mother spends a lot of time on Tumblr. I never really pieced that together. This has been an afternoon of firsts. My mom reads slash fiction. Some people are somebody else. She writes it. And some other people in the line vomit. Are we done with this conversation? I think we're done.
Okay, I love your face.
Thanks. Hi. Wait, what did you say?
I had some.
Oh, hi. I'm sweating and blushing now.
My question is, what was your favorite story growing up and why?
My favorite story growing up? I love stories that my mom will tell about her life. It didn't matter what it was, especially childhood. So if she would tell me a story about her childhood, I would love it. She told this story about how her and her sibling were in the car, they were on a fight. Her dad pulled over and threatened that he was going to make them get out of the car and leave them behind if they didn't stop it. That was it. The whole fucking story. I wanted to hear that again and again and again. best thing ever. My son is now just getting into wanting to hear stories about when I was little. It's fun to tell them stories. And figure out how I have to censor some stories to make sense to him. I'm finding that the stories that really are alluring are ones that include an animal. That's really the key ingredient. If there's a dog in it, it's a much better story. So, any writers out there, a little tip for you. Find a dog. It seems to appeal to the kids. Don't kill the dog. Yes, that's actually a very good point. Yes. Oh, I have a favorite book from late childhood, maybe around 10. I love the Tintin comic books. And my son reads, he wants to read or have a book read to him 30 times a day. It's aggravating. Also, he now wants them all performed in an accent. I'm growing hoarse with doing sort of elderly British gentleman accents. And like Marsha. I understand it was rather flattering of me. So I read a lot of stories to him, so I'm always looking for new books for him, so I bought him Tintin. I brought Tintin to started reading it. Oh, there's an awful lot of machine guns. Which I forgot about in Tintin. And I have to edit that kind of, I edit out words like ugly, or things that involve killing and war, things like that. So you have to do a lot of editing when you're reading Tintin. So we're not reading a lot of Tintin anymore. That book magically disappeared. Anyway, my favorite, my mom read, why am I going on these weird tangents? My mom read this book, A Wonderful Fashion Doll, to me and my brother when I was 7. I loved it. I loved this book. It was the book that we actually read was from the late 1800s, I think. It was a really tattered, very old volume of this sort of strange story about a doll, a wonderful fashion doll. And I brought it into school to show the other kids in 2nd grade. Isn't this a fantastic book? They did not think it was fantastic. At the time, my mother was also dressing me occasionally in pink tights when I went to school, which I thought, oh, these look snazzy. Bringing a wonderful fashion doll into 2nd grade in pink tights made me not popular with my fellow male classmates. Yes, that's another story. So, the book that I really loved was Tom Brown's Tracker. And it was a book about these 2 kids in New Jersey who found this old Indian guy, a Native American, who knew everything about tracking. He knew the old Indian, ways of tracking. And these 2 white kids, actually, one of them wasn't white, but Tom Brown, the author, is white, and he was this sort of New Jersey kid who learned everything about tracking and wilderness survival in the New Jersey woods and became one of the greatest trackers in America. And he's still alive. He's teaching tracking school, which I would go to at some point. But it's a great, really good stuff. Adventure stories about surviving in the woods. Sorry, it's boring. It's true. Hi.
Before I ask my question, I just want to say that with the mockumentary that you did, it was really cool, but it made us feel a little bad for you, and I just wanted to let you know that you are so important.
The documentary, though, that was a fictionalized account, right?
Yeah.
I have to be forthright with you.
Yeah.
We were, it's funny. They actually, so I gave a version of it to the producers to look at, and they cut a lot of stuff out, which made us look, according to them, too deplorable. It's really hilarious stuff. But the problem ultimately ended up being that it then got toned back to where it was kind of more plausible, and kind of, I think a lot of people watch it and think, oh yeah, that's what those guys were like. They're kind of meatbags, aren't they? Whereas the version that I had were so ridiculously that I would like think you would know that wasn't real. But anyway, thank you for giving that for me.
People in this room that probably wouldn't be here. And my question was, what further things do you think could happen with the human pet storyline? Because we're all really disappointed kind of that it got cut so short. So is there anything that you would have liked to have been explored?
Yeah, I think there were lots of things that, you know, it would have been fun to play around with that for a whole year. What? Shall we get into this discussion? Okay, that's awesome. So, I think that there was like years worth of material to mine there, or more. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that we could have done. Being human is complicated. Learning how to be a human being is something that takes people all their lives. So, getting to compress that into, you know, one season of television is a lot of fun. But I think that the show does a pretty good job in general of making the audience want more, leaving them wishing that they had delved into something deeper. I think the thing that was with Demon, you know, we could have watched him be a demon for another 5 or 6 episodes and it would have been cool. But I think that they stopped so at a place where we want more, and we're not sick of it yet. So it's good because it makes us mad at the writer. But they know what they're doing. I think that they're doing it to, you know, keep us wanting more. You know, so there. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I love you, first of all. Second of all, if you could be any superhero, who would you be, or what superpower would you have as a life?
What superpower would I have?
Yes, and why?
I don't know. They're all so good. I want to be the greatest American hero. That was my favorite show. Have you seen it? You have? Only those of us who are 50 and older have seen it. It was so exciting that it came on. It was about this guy who was a total dork who was a superhero. Kind of like Castiel. Me? Yeah. Well, Cass, right? Technically, I'm not Castiel. You are aware of that, right? This is an awkward, there is no Santa Claus moment. I'm sorry, I didn't want to tell you that. It's something your parents should bring to you. Yeah, I would want to make Castiel. I would like to be Castiel and possess his superpowers. You know, the power to magically repair your wardrobe. After stab, look, you were stabbed, and now there's no hole. Probably. Yes. Hi. Nice ears.
Thank you. I was wondering.
Your socks are mismatched.
Yeah.
Oh no. They're not even close. You're aware of that, right? Got it. Okay. Do you always wear mismatched socks? Is it kind of your thing?
Yeah.
Do you, how do you, when you're doing the laundry, how do you put 2 pairs of socks together? Do you bunch them together, or are they all just loose in the drawer? They're loose in the drawer. Smart, because you think about all the time you say not matching socks. Right? You don't say it any time. You think about which sock goes with which every day. It takes you 45 minutes. Anyway, it's a good combo for sure.
Thank you. But I was hoping that you don't remember me from New Jersey. But my question was.
Well, let me see. I can't really see that one.
It was from 2 years ago.
Hi.
My question is, what's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is a moose. What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal has to be ponies at this point.
What's your favorite?
Vampire bats.
I would say
That was really good. The way the cute voice, like, oh, and we're we respond so sweetly, and then she's like, vampire.
Thank you very much. Round of applause. Thank you.
2 years ago, did we have a conversation just like this?
Yeah, I asked you what your favorite animal was.
I do remember you. You've grown much older. You grew 4 inches in 1 year?
Yeah, so I've grown a lot.
Oh my God. You're gonna have to get all new socks. What was my favorite animal?
You said ponies?
Ponies, that's right. We had a very serious exchange about animals.
Yeah.
And you said your favorite animal too, right?
Yeah.
What was it?
Vampire bats?
Do you still fancy vampire bats, or have you changed your favorite animal?
I still like them.
Really? Have you ever seen one in person?
I think when I was little.
You in a dream, maybe. Do you want to talk about animals now?
Why not?
What other kinds of animals are you into?
I like gorillas.
Gorillas? They're pretty great. Yeah. We just went to the zoo. They're a big hit. Meerkats are a big hit with my kids. I don't know if you know what those are, or I don't know what they are either. I don't know how they work their way into the consciousness of my children. If they call them meerkats, they call them mirror cats. Watch out for me, or don't trip over. That is a hazard, isn't it? I used to work on a llama farm when I was in high school. Oh, are you being told that you have to go?
No, she told me, don't forget my actual question.
Oh, that's another question. I used to work on a llama farm. I was in high school, and I did things like I used a weed whacker to cut down thistles, and I repaired fences, and I spun yarn, and I also helped tend to the llamas. Do you know much about llamas?
They spit.
They spit. They're actually kind of unpleasant. Their wool is almost useless. It's very scratchy. They can't carry large loads. They're pretty much totally useless. Yet they eat llamas for some reason. And the other problem with llamas in captivity is that you can't get them to mate without getting involved yourself. Did you know that? I think you did. That's true. What is your question? Wait, what?
If you could have been anybody else on Supernatural, who would you be?
That's a very good question. Crowley? Because who doesn't want to be Oswald's mom? Mary Winchester? That's not a bad idea. I can play with myself. So, what, I can just slip that in there. I guess this thing is on, isn't it? What character would you rather be on Supernatural?
Either the trickster, Crowley, or Body.
Oh, you have narrowed it down, right? I would recommend, in your case, for you, just knowing you the way I do, and since you're into vampire bats, probably Crowley is your guy. I would go for that. What are you wearing for Halloween?
I think I'm going to be Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games.
Oh! That's a great costume. Do you have a pair of matching socks? Because she wears matching socks. 3 minutes? I think we can get through all these. Okay, it was great seeing you again. Can't believe how tall you are now. It's amazing. Did you get all your questions out?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye. Can you imagine? I'll have a dick.
Someone in the audience who thinks you might be serious.
Yes. Well, they probably left about half an hour ago. I think that this is a unique situation. This community of people, there are a lot of people who have had, I mean, everybody has hard lives, have difficult experiences at some point in their lives. But I think this is a community of people that has a disproportionate number of people who have struggled in some way or another. And I think that that is a big part of the glue that holds the supernatural fandom together. It's something, would you agree with what I'm saying?
I do.
And I think that it is a lovely, organic phenomenon that all of these people have come together and provide this incredible network of support to one another. If somebody is having a hard time in the supernatural fandom, and I have seen this repeatedly, and they give some indication of that online or at a convention or in person to another supernatural fan, over and over again you see people leaping to one another's aid, rendering really, really generous acts of support to one another. And it's, so yeah, my advice is lean on this amazing community of people. And I think we in the past have done that with one another. Rob had a shitty medical situation a year ago, and I think that, being a part of this community, you just want to help one another. So know that there's people out there that want to help you, and lean on them. And if they aren't helpful, tell them to fuck off.
I just want to say I love you so much for being a person, and after his therapy.
You really never spend time with a man. Go ahead.
I don't want his therapy card right now, but I was just wondering, do you think Castiel looks at things differently now that he knows he's a demon?
Does Castiel look at you differently now that he knows
Well, he looked at it differently.
like he's got damaged goods now? Ooh, I want to go with that. He's got a demon, I don't know. Honestly, I think that everybody on this show has gone literally it may be the only show on television where you can say that all the leads on the show have been to hell and back.
I think it's also, we also have it on Friends.
Friends, that's right. The other one. Friends and Seinfeld. The other one is the two shows. And so I think that everybody that's been through has such hell, actually, in this case, literally on the show, that I think we're past. I don't know. Oh, not the word.
Ladies and gentlemen, get over you love it. You're very fine. Here you go.
At a previous convention I was at, someone made you disturbingly aware of all your ums and uhs and word fillers.
I don't do that anymore, though.
I'm pretty sure you did a couple times.
Mm-mm.
So, can you try to go the rest of this panel without using ums or uhs?
Nope. That was truly is what I was saying there. Just got stuck in my throat. It was a truly horrific experience for me because somebody pointed out to me that I am very inarticulate, and I became painfully aware of how often I say and ah when I'm searching for words. And it really derailed an entire convention panel, so thank you for bringing up that traumatic experience. There's an app online that removes all of the words and leaves just the breaths and the filler sounds, the ums, the ahs, the ers, and the inhales. And there appears to be a direct correlation between the number of ums and ers and ahs and how stupid the person talking is. There you go. Hi.
I wanted to ask, what was your craziest geschwuss thing that happened?
This year or ever?
Ever.
That's challenging. Getting geschwus written on a mountain on Mars, or getting a mountain on Mars named geschwus, was pretty insane. I could not believe that happened. I took a true perverse delight in, we had this item which was take a fully decorated Christmas tree and have it float away on helium balloons. And that was really arresting visually to see these Christmas trees just floating away. And there was a size minimum. I think they had to be at least this tall. So it was a substantial amount of tree, which required a really large number of balloons. And there were a few airports that were closed because of Christmas trees in the airspace, which I was kind of proud of.
Thank you.
We had some amazing things. This was a great year. I haven't heard about any serious injuries, which was amazing. I haven't heard of any arrests from this year's hunt, which is a first. No court-martials, which have also happened. Who was that bad person that brought that up? Shame on you. Yes, don't act surprised. Yes. Oh, don't do that. That's not fair. Puppy dog faces are not fair. That's not fighting fair. She's still doing it.
Life isn't fair.
That's not fair.
Do it back.
All right, fine. You want to play that way? She held on though. She's good. She's a fighter. What were we talking about? Oh.